Wow, is that a Lutz? Oh man, we had one of those when I was a kid. Those were really cool. Although this one looks a little bit cheesier than the one that I had. Yeah.
Kathy,
What?
We have to get our theme song together here.
Oh.
What are we going to do? It has to be in the public domain.
Oh, I got it. I know what you want to do. Hey, Bob, how you doing? We got to do our theme song. I got it.
What?
What are you gonna do?
No. Are you sure that's in the public domain?
Yeah, I'm sure. I just read in the paper. Okay, on the count of 3, and I'll give you the key. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Whoever. Happy birthday to you. Oh, man, that was great. Okay,
Yeah,
we
but
did that.
you're absolutely sure that that's
Yeah,
in the
I'm
public
sure.
domain.
I'm sure. I read in the paper. Shh, we gotta be quiet now. The video's starting.
Okay.
This here's a story that's dark and deep. As dark and deep as my compost heap.
I had a little garden plot, a garden plot that grew a lot because it got a great big shovel full of brown gold. Brown gold. I put a seed down in my plot, my garden plot that grew a lot because it got a great big shovel full of brown gold. Brown gold. The seed took root and shot a shoot. The seed I planted in my plot, my garden plot that grew a lot because it got a great big shovel full of brown gold. Brown gold, brown gold. Banana peels, potato skin, turn them till the worms come in. And when it's good and old, brown gold, brown gold. A honeydew grew from the shoot that shot out from the seed. The seed I planted in my plot, garden plot that grew a lot because it got a great big shovel full of brown gold. Brown gold. We made a meal out of the fruit that fruited from the shoot that shot out from the seed I planted in my pot, a garden pot that grew a lot because it got a great big shovel full of brown gold. Brown gold, brown gold. Sounds and rhymes their host is hard. We pile up in our backyard, and when it's good and old, brown gold, brown gold.
I pick the fruit, look at the rind, with leaves and husks of every kind. I threw them out in my backyard with other stuff that folks discard. Banana peels, potato skins, I turn them till the worms come in.
'Cause everything that comes from plants deserves to have a second chance down in my plot, my garden plot that grew a lot because it got a great big shovel full of brown gold. Brown gold, brown gold, brown gold. Rich and healthy and dirt cheap, right there in your compost heap. The greatest story ever told. Brown gold, brown gold, brown gold.
And don't worry, I think there's going to be music over all of this, so
Real loud.
There better be.
whatever you say is.
Claire, scoot closer to Evelyn, okay?
Oh,
What does her sign say? Food needs to. Where people can hear. Wow, very good.
I'm ready. Whoa! Surprise.
Wait, I got.
Let's see.
Yay! Bravo.
That was Brown Gold, the first music video produced by Senior Center and in collaboration with the Family Folk Machine. And I love those kids.
I did too. They were just terrific. And you know something, this is absolutely appropriate because this is the first ever magazine format for Senior Center Television. So here we are. Welcome to our audience. I'm your host, Kathy Mitchell.
Bob Beall.
Kate Kasten.
You know, it's really interesting, Kate and Bob, but one question that I get all the time is, what is SCTV?
Yeah, and what do we do?
Yeah, so what do we do?
This is what we do.
Hi, my name is Brad Mowry, and I am an employee here at the Senior Center. I work half-time in the TV studio. You may have seen me or other of our volunteers in this group around the center taping events like concerts. We provide programming for Channel 4, Mediacom Channel 4 on their cable system. We put out 4 hours, well really 5, considering the Coralville and North Liberty channels. 5 hours a month that rotates through the week. We also have a pretty active YouTube channel that we're updating on a regular basis. So today I'm hoping to give an overview of all the things we do, the equipment that we have available, the cameras, microphones, the lights, the computers for editing. We'll also meet some volunteers in our group, hopefully most of them. We will look at the duplication services we offer here. We have a system that lets you record your home videos onto a DVD for a small fee. And finally, we'll look at the YouTube channel and some of the stuff we're doing on there. Hi, so we're here at the duplication station. This is a place where we can take your VHS tapes and transfer them to DVD. We also handle some other formats. I won't get into much detail there, but I will say this. I know a lot of people out there are accumulating lots of media over the years, maybe even getting it from your grandchildren or other relatives. And in some cases, you may not have the tape deck anymore to play it. You may not even know what it is. So it's a good idea to come see me here in room 206. You can also call the front desk and ask for Brad. I may not be able to transfer your media, but I can certainly help you find somewhere that could, or at least give you some advice. We don't handle any film because that's just too complicated and expensive equipment. But most other tape formats, cassettes of various sizes and shapes through the years, we can accommodate, and if not, perhaps we can borrow some equipment from someone else. By all means, come see me. It is a service we offer here for a small fee, and it's pretty popular. So here we are in front of our equipment closet where we store our cameras and microphones. We have various types of cameras, professional gear, good quality consumer gear. We have 3 of these camcorders that are sturdy, will record for hours without failure. These are good for any type of event event taping. This is good for being out in the field. Say you're at a parade or some sort of outdoors event. High quality HD footage. The camera we're using to tape this is Canon Rebel T2i, which is also a very good camera, very professional. It's got a good lens and it shoots high quality HD video as well as stills. These cameras are, and all of our equipment, our microphones, we have older cameras, we have audio recording devices, all are available for checkout. All are, if not professional quality, certainly high quality equipment. And If you need any sort of training on how to use this equipment, that's another service we offer here. So if you're interested at all in any of this stuff, come and see us. Earlier, we looked at our 3 camcorders that we use to tape an event like a concert. Here's an example of us finishing that. Now, we don't produce live programming in real time. You may have seen on TV news, for instance, the anchor might be fidgeting with his tie or combing her hair, not knowing she's on live TV. We don't have that problem. We edit our programs using Final Cut Pro. Here's an example of a 3-camera shoot. In this screen here, you're seeing all the different cameras. We would want to get rid of any shots of the anchor adjusting his tie or the camera swishing around too fast. So this is where we would do that. Here's an example of being able to choose which camera you want to see at any given time, and it would show up in your output. So I won't go into too much more detail about editing, but we will train you on this software. When we're happy with the result, we would output that as a file that would then go on YouTube. Of course, we have programming on Mediacom's Channel 4, and people do watch that. I think more people are watching our YouTube channel these days, and the good thing about YouTube is it shows you the statistics of how many people have watched what, so we know what our most popular programming is. We're also very cognizant of the fact that people today aren't necessarily sitting around a TV at home. They might be watching videos on a laptop or an iPad or a phone even. So that's another reason why we are putting all of our new programming on YouTube, and we're attempting to slowly post a lot of our archival programs up there right now. Now, if you go to YouTube's homepage and you type Senior Center Television in the search bar, we're the first result. We have by far the most Senior Center Television type programs on YouTube right now. There are plenty of other senior centers and other senior groups that are posting videos, but look for our logo. It's generally going to be the first search result. This is our home page. We have a feature video that'll change out every month or two. And then we've got a lot of categories that we've organized here of various types of things: family, folk machine, neighbors and friends, group of the month, you name it. If we've done it, it's on here. If you click on the videos button, you'll see we've got hundreds of shows. So by all means, check out our YouTube channel. We are posting regular updates, so check it out. Today we looked at the basics of what we do here at the Senior Center TV Group. We talked about our gear, we looked at the duplication services, the editing software, the YouTube channel, and that is a great resource if you want to find out more of what we do here. If you want to see if you like the programming and you want to become involved, we have lots of shows. Even if you just want to put on one of the concerts, we have several hour-long concerts up there that you can enjoy at your house or at your leisure. As far as our volunteers, we have a pretty wide range of skills and interests. Not everyone wants to run the camera. Some people are mostly interested in being on camera. Say you want to be an interviewer. We have lots of opportunities for that. On the other hand, if you want to learn the basics of photography or editing, we've got lots of training and equipment available. So check out our YouTube channel. Look for us on Channel 4, and if you're interested, come join us.
So Kate and Bob, here we are in the assembly room. This is a great part of the building. We have this beautiful old Beaux Arts building, and I love this room the best. It's got wonderful acoustics. It's got a great atmosphere to it. And we use this for multiple events.
What kinds of things do we have going on here?
Well, for instance, many of the performance groups are here. We have the Voices of Experience, which is the senior choir. We have the New Horizons Band, which is the terrific orchestra. Occasionally my group, the Reading Aloud group, poetry group. We will do performances here. We will either do them by ourselves, or we will work with groups like Voices of Experience. Bob, what about the dancing?
Well, there's barn dances held here. There's English country dance. There's dance lessons go on, beginning tap dance. There's also the Tap Cats.
How about any theatrical events, Bob?
Well, there's the senior standing room only reading theater group that puts on 4 shows a year.
And you are an integral part of that.
Well, I don't know about an integral part.
Did we forget anything else?
Well, I was going to say the wonderful art exhibit that's taking place here right now.
It's terrific.
All around us.
They do.
Beautiful portraits.
Yeah, they do terrific art here as well as upstairs. So a great place, lots of stuff going on. Also, many special classes are here, lectures and celebrations. For instance, the International Year of the Older Person is here, and then we always have our volunteer recognition dinner here where we honor our volunteers. So lots of stuff going on, and right now we're going to show you a montage of many of the things that we do here.
Adam, I am going to make another creation for you, a human like yourself, but different in very important ways. You can call her Woman. Woman? This woman will gather food for you, cook for you, and when you discover clothing, she'll wash it for you. She will always agree with every decision you make. She will bear your children and never ask you to get up in the middle of the night to take care of them. She will never nag you, and will always be the first to admit she was wrong when you've had a disagreement. She will never have a headache or be in a bad mood. She will freely give you love and affection whenever you need it.
Sounds great, but what will this woman cost?
Oh, a creature as fine and useful as a woman won't come cheap. She will cost you an arm and a leg.
What can I get for a rib?
Introduction to Poetry by Billy Collins. I asked them to take a poem and hold it up to the light like a color slide, or press an ear against its hive. I say, drop a mouse into a poem and watch him probe his way out, or walk inside the poem's room and feel the walls for a light switch. I want them to water ski across the surface of a poem, waving at the author's name on the shore. But all they want to do is tie the poem to a chair with rope and torture a confession out of it. They begin beating it with a hose to find out what it really means.
You know, most of my life, I have had the two habits of worrying and talking to myself, often at the same time. For example, after I used mustard from a glass jar that dropped on the floor but did not break, I started to worry that I might have missed some minute little splintering of glass somewhere in the jar. So then, of course, I had to discuss this possibility at length with some imaginary listener. Oh gosh, what if I swallowed glass? It could lacerate my stomach. And how would they test for that? Probably not an X-ray, maybe ultrasound or MRI. Oh, MRI. And if they did find glass cuts, I wonder if the doctors would think that I'd tried to kill myself and I ought to be committed for psychiatric evaluation. So I'm standing around my kitchen yammering away about this, blah, 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 blah. And suddenly I just stopped and I thought, why am I talking about this? And who am I talking to? And immediately the answer came to me. I was talking to the worry police. The worry police exist to enforce an ordinance that says I am required to worry at least 75% of my waking hours. And all of a sudden, I can see these cops. It's two guys. They're, wearing standard blue uniform, paraphernalia hanging off them, tasers, radios, guns. They're about 40 years old, medium height, medium build, beginnings of a paunch, two paunches. And I realized that even though they're 40 years old, they've been on the force for at least 63 years, because I'm 69, and I started this worrying when I was around 6. And there's a good cop and a bad cop. Good cop calls me ma'am. Ma'am, are you aware that you have not been worrying for the last 5 minutes? Oh gosh, no, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. Bad cop is stone-faced. He dispenses with the niceties. Actually, we clocked you at 5 minutes, 45 seconds, worry-free. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry, I just wasn't thinking. Exactly. Good cop says, ma'am, we need you to take an adrenaline blood level test. Would you please step back into your brain? Bad cop takes the reading. Yeah, 0.01. Ma'am, your adrenaline level needs to be at least 0.05. Bad cop cuffs me. Systolic 130, diastolic 75. Not bad enough? Not even in the ballpark. But, ma'am, we are just here to see that you worry to the full extent of the law. Here's an example of how diligent these cops are. I was walking on the rubberized surface of the children's playground when I started to imagine some conscientious citizen criticizing me for it. Can't you walk on the pavement like every other adult? If everybody takes a shortcut across the playground, it will constantly have to be resurfaced at taxpayers' expense. So I explain that I suffer from chronic back pain, and those few measly seconds on that soft surface give me a little relief. Conscientious citizen says, "Really? Back pain?" And I'm starting to fume. Mind you, none of this conversation has actually taken place. My cops are beaming over this. They take full credit. Earlier that same day, I had to catch a bus because I had to go to my office to prepare for a class I was going to teach. On my way to the bus stop, a neighbor stopped to chat with me, and I excused myself, explaining that I was a little late and I had to catch a bus. I caught the bus, but all the way on the way to work, I obsessed about what would have happened if I'd missed the bus and had to walk into that class unprepared and face 28 disdainful undergraduates, all of whom would have thought I was wasting their time. My cops high-fived each other over that one. They're so good. They're so good they even follow me when I'm taking a walk. It's like the President of the United States followed 24/7 by secret security agents. I have to constantly be thinking about the implication, which is, we're here because there's a distinct possibility that you are going to die. However, lately, I've taken to glancing back at them. Hi, guys. They hate it when I do that. But you know, they had me waking up at 5 a.m. to worry that if we had a thunderstorm, hypothetical golf ball-sized hail might damage my roof before I could sell my house. It's 5 a.m. and these cops are in bed with me. They had to spoon with each other for the three of us to fit. I said, "Cops, you're in bed with me? That can't be comfortable for you." "It's all in the line of duty, ma'am." Or I'll be taking a shower, just relaxing, enjoying the nice hot water on my back. And then I'll think, what if I slip and fall and conk my head and I'm lying there unconscious with the water hitting my nose and my mouth? I could drown. And I say, "Hey, cops, I'm in the shower. Give me some privacy here." "Ma'am, vigilance trumps privacy." "But following me into the bathroom? How do we know that shower won't calm you down?" And I have to admit, it had been calming me down. Good cop says, "Ma'am, think of it this way. If you are not worrying, anything could be a surprise. But if I am worrying, anything could be a surprise. I can't worry about everything." Don't be so sure. Just between you and me, recognizing that it's the cops making me worry is actually causing me to worry less. I've even started to tease them. Like maybe I'll go for a good long stretch of time worry-free, and then I'll have a really minor, unsettling thought like, what if my watch is slow and it's 10 minutes later than I think it is? And I'll say, "Oh, cops, you're back." Say, "I would hate to report you for dereliction of duty, but my worries, they're getting kind of piddly." Ma'am, no worry is too piddly. I started to worry about my worry cops. Because on the one hand, when I am worrying, they're working so hard. I feel sorry for them. They never take a break. On the other hand, if I'm not worrying, I feel kind of guilty that I'm letting them down. The other day I asked them, "What do you worry about?" Well, it turns out that 70% of their worries are job-related. They worry that I'm not worrying enough, which kind of made me wonder, who are their enforcers? Anyway, their worries have now been realized. I'm getting pretty complacent. And they've gotten so frustrated that they put in for a transfer and got it. Their new assignment is to convince an extreme sports enthusiast to fear death. I think that's going to be a very nice challenge for them. So we've said our goodbyes. I did make a little faux pas. I said, "Take it easy." Bad cop glared at me. Good cop said, "Ma'am, we know you didn't mean it that way." Good cop's parting words to me were, "Ma'am, worry, don't be happy. I responded ambiguously, don't worry, I will. So that was my latest episode of Boomer on a Chair. Boomer because I am a baby boomer and I sit on a chair. Well, this is actually a piano bench, but it's usually a chair. I really have enjoyed doing these little monologues. It was a chance for me to, be creative, and when I got the idea in the beginning, I didn't know where I could go to film them, and then I learned about the Senior Center TV group, and that was a really great opportunity for me. So that's something that's really wonderful about this group, is people who have artistic projects or any kind of project can do their own individual work. So what we're going to see next is a wonderful art video by an artist named Donna Roop. It'll speak for itself. It's fantastic. And then after that, we're going to look at a project by Rosemary Petzold. She's a great fan of Frank Lloyd Wright, and you'll see some examples of Frank Lloyd Wright houses and buildings in Mason City, Iowa.
The prairie style of architecture, large overhanging eaves and light-colored brick with its horizontal theme, causes the notion that the building clings to the land and emphasizes the natural surroundings of the building. It was noted for the horizontal focus of his designs, the use of earth tones and bands of windows, which allowed the outside to merge and blend with inside. The recently restored Park Inn shows some unusual architectural characteristics. You may notice the exterior light fixtures, or the colorful terracotta. Even the bricks with which the hotel was constructed seem to be different. FLW was not content with just designing buildings. Often he also designed elements of the interior furnishings, including stained glass windows, pieces of furniture, and sometimes even the fabric to be used. These details are among the many features that make the Park Inn a truly unique building. You will be struck by the elegance of the appearance inside of the hotel. You might wander around in the lobby, savoring each of the fine elements designed by FLW. Furniture, windows, carpet. The Park Inn Hotel structure included, when built, the City National Bank, which opened with the hotel in 1910, and it also included space for a law office. The former bank space has also been restored to its original dimensions, and now serves as a multi-purpose banquet, reception, and ballroom. The law firm of Blythe, Markley, Rule, and Smith is now a library. The reception area is lighted in part by large art glass windows facing the park and shaped from natural woods, tile, and stone. Behind the registration desk is a two-story lounge with a ceiling fashioned from art glass panels, almost miraculously saved from remodeling in the Low Period, and now restored to establish the grandeur of the room with overstuffed leather sofas and mahogany tables. The spirit of the prairie design has shaped the town of Mason City. Don't forget to visit the birthplace of Meredith Willson, who gave Mason City the nickname River City in his famous musical, The Music Man. A leisurely walk through the public rooms of the Park Inn Hotel is a wonderful experience, and spending the night in one of the beautiful guest rooms you will remember for the rest of your life. Of course, it is possible that you will receive a call from the desk offering you an unexpected treat. Unfortunately, the Park Inn makes no promises that it will be FLW himself calling. Buildings should be in harmony with humanity and the environment. I believe in God, only I spell it nature. Early in my life, I had to choose between arrogance and hypocritical humility. I chose the former and have no reason to change.
Today we are chatting with Colin Bailey, the newly appointed director of the Fine Arts Museums of San Francisco.
I love this picture. You lose yourself in it. You follow the story. You see these sunburned faces. These are men who have been out in the field. They've been wearing hats. They take their hats off for lunch. So they've all got these white foreheads.
It's a long and thin portrait of a farmhouse with the table set to capacity with farm workers who have presumably been out doing their labor of threshing, and the preparation that is involved with the meal, and there's an implication that food is pictured, but it's not the main thing. Is the social, the pulling together on a project that brings the community all together, and then at a point they have to sort of replenish their calories or whatever and get some food so they can continue to do this work.
It's just a farm grouping, and that's what I was raised during, from my birth till my 19th birthday.
When he painted this in 1934, it's a nostalgic picture. He's looking back, he's remembering the life he led as a farm boy.
Breakfast was breakfast, dinner was at noon, supper was at night. The only thing that was ever on time was breakfast and dinner. Supper came when you got done with the chores.
You see that they're brought together by food. If this was any other time of day, these people would be separated. The men would be out in the field, and the women would be working furiously to prepare the meal and all the things that go with it. And you can see that now they've come together for the noon meal, and it's kind of the one time when you see them in a common activity, which is the meal.
The lady in the house is in the kitchen, probably what they used to call second table that those people ate at after everybody else was fed.
We always had to do a lot of cooking for my family at home, and we always used to have big dinners and mashed potatoes and gravy and dessert and ham and chicken and all kinds of food like that.
Well, you can see that it's a large number of people, and that for this house, you could imagine that room was actually cramped. Somebody at the table is sitting on an odd stool that looks like it's a piano stool.
This ritual of having the threshers at lunch after they'd worked during the day. There are three men who are not quite able to sit at the table because the table is full. And he writes, this was my home. These were our hands. This was my mother's china. So for him, it's not modern life. It is a memory.
Good afternoon and welcome to Senior Center Television. It is Wednesday, February 11th, 2015, and I'm your host, Kathy Mitchell. With me today, I have Donna Roop. Donna is an artist. She is an artist of this work that is behind me and goes all the way down the hall. Donna is a mixed media artist. And Donna, am I right that this is your third show with us?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Donna, I want to just start off by saying, as you know, I'm also an artist. I'm a mixed media artist. And, went through all of that formal study, learned the painting, the drawing, the watercolor, everything. Around 1965, I fell in love with three-dimensional. I have never looked back, I love the mixed media form. I love the building. So what about you? When did you start this? And what was it about it that you just fell in love with it?
I started this particular art form only 3 years ago. But I have always enjoyed art and took a little art class in college, in undergraduate. And it's always been, I wouldn't say a passion, but something that gives me great pleasure. And the creative process is what I enjoy the most.
Okay, well, what I want to do today, we don't really need to go through these and say what they mean. I think they're pretty self-explanatory. But what I'm really interested in is your use of materials and the process that you use. So let's start down here. For this particular show, you do two very different types of work. Yes. We're very familiar with these faces, which we will come back to. But I would like to start with the signage first. This signage that you're doing now, this is something quite different from the faces that you do, which we will be looking at in a few minutes. This is something very new for you, isn't it?
It is, but they both represent something that's very important to me, which is my focus on not throwing things away, using things that can be repurposed, recycled, reused for different purposes. And so whether it's the faces or these signs, it's everything that I use is material that have come from flea markets, resale shops, antique stores, things that have already been used for something else.
When you are designing a piece, you have all these antique materials which you are repurposing, do you have a particular piece in mind? In other words, when you did this Iowa sign, you thought, oh, I wish I could find a piece of antique shears for this, or I wish I could find an old house number. I mean, do you design it first, or do the materials determine what the piece entails?
The materials definitely determine what is going to happen. I have gotten so that I see letters in everything and faces in everything, every place. And so then I find ways to use those materials in different ways. The W, for instance, is an old bicycle chain. And when I can't find a W anyplace else, I can construct one from the bicycle chain or the lamp chain and different things.
Okay. Do you tell friends and acquaintances, relatives, you go, please don't throw anything away, just wait till I get there, I will look through your stuff?
I don't usually have to. People seem very anxious to give me things. And I have had clock parts from a brother-in-law and old tools from another brother-in-law and sisters who have found junk that's been sitting in their junk drawers for years, and they pack them up and send them to me. So it's I don't have to ask.
Have you ever, if you get your dream piece, I'm looking at this great A in Iowa, and you just get your great dream piece and you're setting it in and it just doesn't work?
That happens often. I spend a lot of time trying to find some unifying element to each piece, whether it's the metal, the gray, the different textures. I'd like to try and find different textures for a sign. So it's a lot of mixing and matching for a long time before I ever actually put it together.
Okay, well, what I'd like to do, I would like to go down to the faces, because you've got quite a few of them. This is what you're pretty well known for. And then we'll talk a little bit more about materials, but also I'm very interested in your process. Okay, so here we are in front of your really famous faces, because this is what really people know about you. Donna Roop and these great quirky, and I'm using your own words here, quirky faces, all right? So we are standing in front of your favorite one. Now, again, I want to ask about this process. You are using these old materials here. I want to ask you, too, about the wood. I noticed that you use some very, very nice wood in all of your pieces. I want to know where the wood comes from.
The wood for the faces is almost always pieces of lumber that have been used for other things or scrap from construction sites. This one Over here was a cutting board. The boards for the signs usually are reused cabinet fronts that I got from Restore, actually in a Restore in Chicago, that must have a deal with cabinet salespeople. These are samples, and I just take those. They're all finished for me. It makes it very easy to do. Okay. It's laziness, maybe. I call these vintage faces. And I believed when I first started making these that each face that I made had an expression, and the stories were to reflect what that expression was saying to me. And sometimes when I make a face like Liz here, it takes a while before the story comes out. I have to live with her for a while, and then the story comes out of it. Everybody has secrets, everyone has dreams, and so these faces are secrets and dreams of those vintage people.
Part of the pleasure of looking at these faces is reading the biographical sketches. They are very, very thought-provoking. Some of them are very funny, but some in the past have been very serious. I remember, was that the one with Sandy Hook that you had last time? It was a very, very serious one and very touching. All right, so again, if we could talk about the process of this, of how you actually put these together, because they're beautifully made.
Well, thank you very much. Usually I'll find one piece. For instance, this one, the nose was a piece I started with. I found one piece, and then through all the materials I have, trying to mix and match and see what fits and seems logical, seems reasonable to go with that piece. Now, you wouldn't think that a wire brush would be for a librarian, but with one eyebrow showing and her hair covering the other side, it worked very well. This, as I explained to Kathy, is me. That was the inspiration when I made it, because she's a retired librarian. I actually knit at the senior center. She quilts, but she has the conversation was that everyone has secrets, and Bonnie admitted to herself that she had Woodstock, and then of course there was that tattoo, dragonfly tattoo she had, and it leaves you to wonder where the tattoo is. So I try to leave the reader something to think about.
I do want everyone who is watching this to know that all proceeds for the faces, all proceeds go to the senior center. So thank you very much, Donna, for that. That is most gracious. And you do take commissions, yes?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I've made quite a few signs. They've been custom ordered for different people, whether they were for loved ones or family names, lots of different things, and they can specify what type of materials, for instance, if they want them on barn boards or on nice cabinet drawers or whatever. So,
okay, this is the moment where you get to make your pitch. If someone wanted a commission, how would they reach you?
I guess email me. I think the easiest way would be to have you email.
What is the email?
The email is vintage.words@yahoo.com.
Okay, is there anything else before we end here? And you know how much I love your work. I actually own a piece. Is there anything else you'd like to tell our audience before we conclude?
Well, I hope you have a chance to come and look at them. The reason I enjoy sharing them is because I'll stand up here and I'll listen to people chuckling over some of the stories, and it gives me pleasure.
The Senior Center can't run without volunteers. You've already met some of the volunteers for the Senior Center television. Here are some of the special ones, the Volunteers of the Year for 2013 and 2014.
Here are the members of the group. This is
Bernita Howe,
Eliza Dixon,
Helen Nicholas,
I'm Donna Wendler,
and this is a new member of our group today, so we hope she comes back. And your name is?
Agatha Rudy,
Debbie Cooney.
This is a quilt that we're doing for a lady from Peoria, Illinois, and we've done about 7 quilts for her. It's a really pretty purple quilt. I'm Jody Wiley. We quilt here on Wednesdays and Fridays from 8 to 12. We're always looking for new quilters. We're always looking for quilt tops to quilt for money, and the money goes then to the senior center. So we also have a class on Friday afternoon for beginning quilting that people can come and bring their project, whatever it is, and we try to help them.
My name is Mary Dusterhoff, and I've been volunteering at the Senior Center since about '99. I started teaching one class a week of Taoist Tai Chi, and then when I retired in '04, I taught 2 classes of Taoist Tai Chi a week, and now it's up to 4 classes of Taoist Tai Chi a week. I volunteer here because, first of all, it is a wonderful place to hang out. We have a wonderful facility for doing Tai Chi, a nice wooden floor, and the staff has been very welcoming to my class.
My name is Jay Honahan. I'm an attorney, semi-retired here in Iowa City. I have been active at the Senior Center since I went into semi-retirement in '97. I have been on the Senior Center Commission since that time, and all except 1 year I have been the commission chair. I'm active at the Senior Center on a personal basis. I have attended Spanish classes here and am enrolled in art classes. Started painting here in the Senior Center when I was 81 years old and have enjoyed it ever since. I also am a volunteer lawyer here at the center and help advise seniors about legal problems and legal things that they can do in certain situations. Well, I enjoy volunteering. I think it's probably because my mother got me into it when she was a big volunteer when I grew up in high school and college. And so I continued. I think I'm giving back some of the things that other people have given me.
I've been a volunteer at the Senior Center for 15 years. I started at the Senior Center because I was interested in their two-dimensional art program, and I needed something to do after I retired. One thing led to another, and I've done a variety of help outs, as you want to call them that, at the Senior Center. One has been to facilitate a class, or lead a class, or teach a class, if you want to call it that, and write your life story. And we've had probably 100, 125, 150 people come through the class in the last 11 years that I've been doing that. In addition, I've been on various committees here, and currently I'm on the Senior Center Commission. I enjoy the volunteer work here because the people I work with are good folks. I appreciate what they're doing, and they seem to appreciate what I do. And that's what we really want, is this appreciation that we have for the things that we value. So, hope you can join us.
I'm Ina Lowenberg, and I've been coming to the Senior Center for almost 20 years. Actually, 20 years ago, I had a photography exhibit here, but then it was being invited to be in a focus group in 1998, I think, that encouraged me to do more. And when they said that they were going to start up a women's pool group, I was intrigued. I joined that group. That is pool, not jumping in the water, but pool billiards. And I am still playing pool with that group of women, or with some group of women, every Friday morning. I also take a number of exercise classes here, including Tai Chi, Zumba, strength training. And Colin Kerstetter has been my teacher for as long as she's been teaching here. And the most important thing that I do and love at the Senior Center is that in 2005 I started a group called Reading Aloud, a poetry reading group that is still going strong with some changes in personnel, where we do not write, but we creatively search out and read poems written by others and we often go to other places. We read in the senior center, of course. We go to other places. This Tuesday we went to Oak Knoll to give a program that we had previously given in the city library. So that is something that takes a lot of my time and effort and energy and love, and I can't imagine being without it. How do I feel about volunteering at the senior center or just altogether? And I'll just tell this story. My mother lived in New York City, and she had all kinds of health problems, and yet she was a volunteer at a hospital for 19 years, and she always said, it gives you more than you give to it, which is, I think, what we all feel about volunteering. We get more out of it than we give. It's a wonderful place. I'm happy to be connected with it. I can't imagine it not being here. And that's about it.
I'm Bob Woodburn, and I'm tax aid. I'm the local coordinator of the tax aid, AARP tax aid program. And I've been doing these taxes, this is my 15th year. I did the first 5, I worked with Bobby Davis, and after he passed away, I assumed the local coordinator position. The reason I do this, I enjoy working with people, I enjoy working with figures. I did not do this in my professional life, but I always did my own taxes, and I always did my business taxes as well, and so it's easy for me to do, and I like doing it, and as I said, I like meeting different people.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear viewers. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, Kathy, are you absolutely sure that's in the public domain?
Kate, will you stop worrying?
Grandma rocking in her rocking chair, putting pin curlers in her old gray hair. I says, Granny, how's your rheumatis? She says, son, don't you know what day this is? That rheumatis has got to be all right, 'cause I'm rocking and rolling on a Saturday night.